Introducing the Yamaha VL series Virtual Acoustic Synthesizer, the world's first practical application of computer modeling in musical synthesis. Just listen to the super realistic sounds produced by the VL1 and hear for yourself how virtual acoustic synthesis technology opens up a new world of possibilities. Through the use of virtual acoustic synthesis, Yamaha have created a new instrument capable of producing both super real and imaginary musical instruments of a quality you've never heard before. The VL1's the first instrument of its kind that delivers the concept of computer-based physical modeling to the musician. Yamaha have spent many years researching the workings and properties of acoustic instruments. This research has evolved into what Yamaha have called virtual acoustic synthesis. And now the VL1 delivers the power of this new music synthesis to you, the musician, for the very first time. We think you'll agree the quality and realism of the sounds go far beyond what has previously been possible. Back in the early 1980s, Yamaha introduced the revolutionary FM synthesis technology with the DX range of keyboards. In the late 1980s, sample sound-based synthesis techniques such as AWM added further realism to the sounds. Now, virtual acoustic synthesis takes a major leap forward into the 21st century with a technology which delivers super realistic instrument sounds with extraordinary expressive capabilities. Not only does the VL1 include a range of traditional acoustic instruments such as violin, sax, flute and guitar, but it also has a range of new imaginary instruments, the likes of which you've never heard before. They're new, they're highly expressive, and they're exciting. The VL series is the next generation. So why is the VL1 so different? The reason is simple. No other synthesizer has ever used a technology quite like virtual acoustic synthesis. Yamaha have taken the concept of creating sounds by computer physical modeling out of the laboratory and turned it into a real-world product. The VL1 doesn't use oscillators, function generators, preset waveforms or samples. In fact, it uses none of the traditional methods of sound synthesis. It uses a new and exciting technology based on the idea of creating a computer model of the acoustic properties of a musical instrument. This model can be manipulated in ways which affect its sound by controlling the factors which give an instrument its characteristic tonal quality. For example, a string instrument such as a violin can be modeled. The factors which affect its sound are all controllable. So you can control the characteristics of the resonance of the violin's body, the strings, and the way they're bowed. Because these characteristics are all individually controllable, the VL1 gives the musician the power to manipulate the sound through precise programming functions and real-time performance controllers, such as the breath controller, wheels, and foot pedal. The combination of these controllers gives the player tremendous power of expression and feeling, making the VL1 the most highly responsive synthesizer of all time. It's this superb performance ability which has attracted the interest of rock musicians such as Howard Jones and Wix. They've immediately recognized the VL1 as a powerful and significant instrument. Let's listen to what Howard Jones, the international keyboard star, has got to say about the VL1.
Welcome to my studio. It's called The Shed, and this is the VL1. This is probably the most exciting synthesizer that's ever been made, and today we're going to be talking about it, and hopefully I'm going to be playing you some nice tunes on it.
What's the most exciting aspect of the VL1?
The most exciting aspect of the VL1 really for me is the fact that it is a total performance instrument, in the sense that you can totally manipulate the sound right from your very soul, I think, really. It's got loads and loads of actual controllers that alter various parts of the sound.
Will the VL1 be featuring on your new album?
With the new album, I've decided to give the VL1 quite a big feature, because I'm not using very many synths at all on this new record. There's a lot of Celtic influence, there's a lot of ethnic influence, and there's a lot of instruments that are obviously very, very real, Turkish instruments, 12-string guitars, and a very sort of minimal orchestration. I'm using a lot of strings in this new album as well. So the VL1 takes all the solos, and sort of amazingly, for something that's so technologically advanced, it sounds like a very exotic ethnic instrument.
Do the sounds inspire you to compose?
The sounds have really inspired me tremendously. In fact, with the latest batch of writing I've done, I've incorporated the VL1 into my thinking about how the songs should sound. The new music is very much a mixture of ethnic elements and technological elements, and the VL1 really fits completely into that framework.
Would you play us a few examples of your favourite sounds?
Yeah, I'd like to play you a cross section of a few. I mean, there's so many good sounds in there. I'll just sort of flick through a few. Yeah, this is the sitar sound, which is actually I don't need the breath control with this one. Pastoral.
Wix, who plays keyboards for Paul McCartney, has been a long-time exponent of FM, using the Yamaha TX and DX range. Now he's hooked on the VL1.
Hello, I'm Wix, and this is the VL1 from Yamaha, and I'm going to play some sounds and talk a bit about it to you today.
What's the most exciting aspect of the VL1?
Definitely for me, the expressiveness and the control you have over the sounds is one of the main features for me of the VL1. It allows me to perform solo sounds really very expressively.
How do you find the VL1 as a duophonic instrument?
For soloing, that's fine, and duophonic things for, say, heavy guitar, that's fine as well. I'm looking at this really as a soloing instrument and for textures, and not as really to replace big pad sounds or large chords. So I think it works very well. It allows you to play within, the scope of one or two notes very expressively.
What do you think about the expressiveness of the VL1?
Yes, the fact that you have different parameters to play with allows you to control them with varying controllers. You've got 3 wheels, you have a breath controller, you've got 4 pedals that you can use, 2 continuous controller pedals, and you can configure them to do pretty much what you want. The best way to look at the breath controller, if you don't know anything about it, is like a foot pedal for your mouth. It leaves both hands and both feet free to do other things.
Would you play us a few examples of your favourite sounds?
So that was a simulated oboe sound. So lots of expression there, but it's not trying to actually simulate. That's a blues harmonica.
Now you've heard some of the superb sounds of the VL1, we'll tell you how it works. Imagine information inside a computer, which not only describes the physical appearance of a musical instrument, but also the means by which it's played, a virtual instrument, constructed entirely in the memory of a computer. The VL1 has all the basic characteristics of traditional acoustic instruments stored inside its computer. Through the use of programming and control functions, the VL1 allows you to access many aspects of the physical model. This means, for example, that you can alter the stiffness of the wood used in the resonator using the editing function, or manipulate the pressure and the velocity of the bowing action in real time through the use of the VL1's performance controllers. This degree of sound control has never before been available on any other synthesizer. Let's take a look at the VL1 in more detail. The VL1 is a duophonic instrument specially designed for keyboard players who are looking for a superb lead line synth. It features a 49-note keyboard with octave switching, comes with 128 factory preset voices, which include a range of super realistic traditional acoustic instruments and a collection of new sounds, all precisely tailored to allow you, the musician, to put the feeling and expression into your playing in a way that's never before been possible. All the programming functions are accessed through a brightly lit LCD screen with fast parameter entry through the use of the dial and buttons. 8 function buttons allow you to quickly call up the parameters you want to edit. Any new voices which you create can be stored on the built-in floppy disk drive. The use of rubber-coated wheels gives them a tactile quality, which helps to enhance the operation of the VL1, a factor which is very important in live performance situations. In addition to the superb sound quality of the VL1 voices, the instrument comes with a built-in 32-bit digital signal processor, which allows you to apply stereo effects such as pitch change, flanger, distortion, feedback delay, and reverb. If you're an owner of a Yamaha WX wind controller, you'll be amazed at the creative possibilities when you hook up to the VL1 via MIDI. And what's more, all you WX and keyboard players will also be interested in the VL1-m rack-mount version of this superb instrument. The interfacing of the performance controllers, such as the breath controller, wheels and foot pedals, allows you to get inside the sound structure, so that you can put real feeling into your playing. In this brief introduction to the VL1, we've only looked at the central physical model, which is the key to the VL1's superb sound and expressive performance capability. There's actually a lot more to it. The VL1 has an extensive range of other features, similar to those found on conventional synthesizers. And of course, there's a comprehensive selection of MIDI, disk and utility functions that give the VL1 added versatility. The VL1's a new and exciting musical instrument from Yamaha that's set to become another milestone in synthesizer history. Never before have players had an instrument which delivers such realistic sounds and such superb expressive capabilities. It's a soloist's dream. The Yamaha VL1 is not an instrument to be ignored. It will change your music. In addition to the real instrument sounds provided with the VL1, a wide selection of imaginary sounds are also available as factory preset voices and optional disc voices. Currently 7 titles with 112 voices are available, and another 6 titles will be released soon. What's more, the VL1 is part of the VL series, a whole new group of synthesizers which include the rack-mountable VL1-m version and the amazing VL7. Go and see for yourself. Ask your dealer for a demonstration today. If you want more in-depth information about the VL1, select Main Menu from this screen and explore the rest of this interactive CD-ROM.